this looks nothing like North Korea in 2021.
You are here to sabotage our nuclear ambition.
Having nuclear ambitions.
All the rules say to leave me that one life is not worth blowing operational cover.
Do any of the rules about your operational cover say that maybe now is a terrible time to talk about this? This guy looks like a member of the film crew who got caught in the frame and is now acting cool, hoping no one will notice. Huh, Washington, D.C. present day looks an awful lot like New York City 2010.
Germans don't joke.
That can't possibly be true. Hold on a second. Ah, here's one. Warum hat der Fisch eine Brille auf? Weil unter Wasser lesen muss. Hilarious.
Bert likes my cookie.
Letting your ignorance of the canine diet result in Bert developing pancreatitis from the excessive amounts of fat in human food.
Get your bugs off the table.
They're spiders.
They're bugs.
They're not bugs, they're arachnids, and you know that, Evelyn.
It's my anniversary, and I want it to be perfect.
Thinking napkin folding will get you nearer to this goal.
And utilitarian is the new sexy.
Citation needed.
You sure about this? You know, once you start pushing paper, there's no turning back.
Since we will find out Salt is in fact a Russian spy who is supposed to kill the Russian president shortly after this, why is she bothering with applying for different positions within the CIA? In fact, her being in the CIA doesn't really seem all that relevant, and the whole we can't conduct business on U.S. soil rule means her effectiveness as a spy in the USA is minimal at best.
Interview has commenced at 14:42.
Those assholes were leaving work at 2:45.
Are you selling secrets for chemo?
The U.S. healthcare system.
The only female chess grandmaster of her era.
Being known for playing chess well, or just simply chess.
Within a month, they were married, and within a year, a child.
So, within a year of their meeting, or within a year of them getting married. Why are you describing time in the most confusing way possible?
1 month more, the child was back in the same hospital, sick with fever. And within days after that, the child suddenly was dead.
I mean, the old child was in the hospital for days before dying, so I think you're overselling the suddenly aspect of this story, Orlov.
And yes, a child was buried, but the Chenkov baby was alive and became the property of another man.
So the baby faked its own death? Makes sense to me. Moving on.
It had all started with an American named Lee Harvey Oswald.
Everything about the sequence of scenes and the angle of this shot suggests we are witnessing flashbacks positioned via Spy Guy showing that baby a PowerPoint presentation. I now wish the movie would get to the point instead of asking me to decipher what is going on right now.
You're killing me, man.
Angelina Jolie's reaction after reading the final act of the script somehow makes its way into the first act of the script.
The name of the Russian agent is Salt. Evelyn Salt.
Roll credits.
Someone interrogate that piece of shit. Someone who enjoys getting answers.
Isn't getting answers kind of the main role of an interrogator? I'm not sure how enjoying it makes you more suited for the job. Why does no one check for the knife in the shoe? Haven't any of these agents ever watched a spy movie before? Or an episode of Get Smart? Man, I wish they would make a movie based on Get Smart, because that's never happened. I'm as sure of that as I am sure that there was never a fourth Indiana Jones film.
Isolate and seal it.
They will now close each of these very impressive security doors one at a time instead of immediately locking down the whole floor. You know, for suspense. Putting your underwear on a security camera without its explicit consent. Peabody scrolling through Salt's file on his Sony Ericsson feels more about showing this phone than it does about giving anyone information relevant to the moment. Salt's profile says she's skilled at edged weapons, but movie never gives us a sword fight.
Have you found him?
What the hell are you doing, Ev?
Well, she's taking the time to answer a phone call when she only has seconds to escape. I know she's doing that bullshit.
Get your goddamn panties off the camera.
Taking your underwear off a security camera without its explicit consent. Whatever makeshift device that enables this fire extinguisher to lock onto this table leg and the fictional ass it was pulled out of.
Jesus Christ.
No, Ted, that is Evelyn Salt.
He's one of the world's top arachnologists, Ev. As such, enjoys pretty much unrestricted access to the borders of North Korea.
Why would this give him unrestricted access to anything? Access, sure, I get that, but unrestricted? Fucking why? The concussive blast of this flashbang grenade blew out all the windows but had absolutely no effect on this bottle of Heineken. Screw beer. I wish Heineken had gotten into the condom game years ago. I guess Evelyn's dog has learned how to unzip a backpack from the inside because his head wasn't poking out in the previous scene. Didn't realize that PSP stood for products shown purposely.
What you doing? You doing homework?
Yeah, math.
Doing math. While looking deeply into her eyes, this dog is telepathically transported to the day Evelyn met Mike. Well, that makes as much sense as this pooch triggering a flashback it had all to do with in the first place. Peabody just keeps firing away into rush hour traffic. Is someone going to arrest this fucker? This jumping from truck to truck is a pretty cool practical stunt. Too bad all the long shots are of Salt being stationary and all the action shots are cut to hell. What is she even holding on to here? The top of that truck is fucking flat. Is she a mutant with suction cup hands? No, seriously, is she a mutant with suction cup hands?
I'd say she's a trained goddamn liar, and everything she said up until now has been to protect her cover.
Well, why don't you tell me how you really feel about it?
Ted would be the saltiest at CinemaSins. The person on this motorcycle who saw all the lights and sirens and was like, F it, I got places to be. Jugs and strokers. Breaking this off the wall was easier than finding 25 cents. Character on the run gets injured and cleans up and bandages their wounds at a public restroom cliche. Everybody!
I work for the CIA.
Hate to interrupt the flashback story of their relationship, but maybe the person driving right now shouldn't know this.
You're not safe with me.
I don't want to be safe.
Men. These random clothes she just stole will fit perfectly instead of the more plausible outcome of Salt looking like David Byrne in his big suit. I don't think any of us noticed a point when those fake teeth made her look any less like Angelina Jolie. Evelyn is extracting venom from this spider through its abdomen. However, the venom sacs would be located in the spider's chelicerae, which is right above its fangs. He doesn't know how to spider venom extraction correctly. They know that there is a possible threat to this man's life, yet they still have him do this slow-ass walk into the church in full view of the public.
What's the security perimeter?
We're too deep inside and we own this entire block. And those are Secret Service agents, not CIA.
So I can assure you they've all been trained on how to properly wag their around in lieu of moving the target to a secure location. I feel like if the worst thing that happens to you on a subway is a little smoke in the air, that's probably a pretty good day.
Horace.
Mr. President.
They let the President of the United States be here too? And sat up next to the guy they think someone is here to assassinate? Everyone here should lose their jobs. Also, you might find it sad that I know the actor who plays the US President is named Hunt Block, and he has appeared in 3 episodes of Murder, She Wrote. But here we are.
After the president finishes, the choir sings, then Montveo delivers the eulogy.
It's not just that he's only briefing them on this now, it's also that everyone is just cool with it. This scene feels less like it's integral to the movie and more like the movie felt it had been too long since the last fight scene. Well, that was a lot of fast-cutting visual diarrhea, and I'm pretty sure we just witnessed Salt flying, which is kind of cool, but she doesn't do it again, which is not cool. I know we don't know for sure that she is the hero at this point, but no justice will be had for this unconscious guy whose body she uses as a silencer. It seems convenient for Evelyn that the Russian president was the one on stage when she was ready to make the floor crumble. Also, there is at least some chance that he dies during this fall into the rubble, right? I mean, you can't account for how people or bricks fall in this situation. Maybe he falls like an idiot and lands on his neck. And maybe the bricks fall like bricks and land on his neck. What I'm saying is the end of this movie will act like she never intended to kill Matveyev, and that's just not true. We don't actually see Evelyn kill the Russian president. We only see her point a gun at him, and we hear a shot. Surely this film won't do the obvious thing and show us later she didn't actually kill the president. Damn it!
I can't feel a pulse.
He can't find a gunshot wound either, making this the only known case of a Schrodinger's Russian president. Evelyn tases the driver, but he is somehow able to continue to drive the car. I see her steal the hat, but am I just supposed to assume she also stole the matching fur-trimmed cloak off a completely separate rack?
What is your name?
My name is Evelyn Salt.
We're flashbacking again, y'all.
What college will you attend?
Princeton University.
Where will you work?
The Central Intelligence Agency.
Who will you trust?
No one.
If they can ensure all this, I'm going to say that the fall of the Soviet Union was mostly because they chose to create super spies with their kids instead of having them infiltrate their economy with some ideas that were good for business.
When I saw you in Washington, I almost ran to you.
But that would have been really dumb, and Evelyn has been shown to be extremely intelligent, so why would she have even thought that?
You are not supposed to get married. Not unless it had great tactical advantage.
There are less complicated ways to tell someone you don't like their spouse.
When you escaped today, I thought even I could not have hoped for so much.
Wait, what in the flying f***? You thought she was going to get caught? How would that have factored into your plans at all? What do you want, Orlov? Writers think that Russian spies think that all it takes to disguise your boat, which looks filled with Russian spies, is this little American flag. And we all know you need one at least 3 times as big. So glad such a big deal was made about this character, only to have him shot and killed as soon as we see him again.
Доволен.
All she did was not attempt to kill them all while they were pointing a bunch of guns at her. This reaction to Mike's death proves nothing, other than she likes not getting shot.
Россия восстанет из пепла величайшей войны. который увидел мир.
Premature celebration.
You remember me?
Of course she does. You were the one who conveniently had a very memorable scar.
I've been the NATO liaison to the White House for 3 years.
I guess it's possible that Salt was not aware of him before now, even though they were both in D.C. a lot, but it's not that possible.
Tonight, you will kill America's president.
But why her? Yes, they disguise her up and everything, but why take any kind of chance that she would be caught before completing the mission? Schneider is already set up in the White House, and we will find out shortly is not afraid to die, so why not have him kill the president?
But you were the best of us, and I was the least.
Damn, Corey, I know Push wasn't the box office hit we hoped it would be, but you've been in plenty of other good stuff. Wait, what are you talking about?
There must be others here to finish what we begin.
It's wildly unbelievable how easily they have infiltrated so many organizations, especially considering how openly they seem to talk about their conspiracies. Running, running, running. Excitement? There are only two explanations for this physics-defying descent to the presidential bunker. Either Salt was bitten by one of Mike's radioactive spiders, or she drank a fizzy lifting drink and is now silently farting her way down the elevator shaft. And don't act like you wouldn't have called me out for not explaining the lack of burps. Despite the suspenseful music, this guy is just taking his sweet-ass time.
Mr. President, I strongly recommend that we go from DEFCON 4 to DEFCON 2.
Captain Holt is having way too much fun in this scene.
The outer portal door is jammed. No response.
For such an urgent matter, you are certainly communicating it very quietly. At least no one can say the movie didn't shake the camera to hell and back. Since the plan was to kill the U.S. president and Ted has all the codes to authorize the strike, then why doesn't he just kill the president now? The president knows he's a traitor, so not killing him makes very little sense. And Ted does use the president's hand to confirm identification for the missile launch, but he doesn't kill him after that either.
Tehran, Mecca. Mecca? Tehran?
Evelyn is this movie's Gwen DeMarco. I get that these two are spies and nothing they say or do can be trusted, but even the notion of these two being romantic at this moment is something I'm fine with skipping.
According to his doctors, President Vea's mistaken death is attributed to a temporary paralysis from a toxin derived from spider venom.
Conveniently timed third act news potential is conveniently timed.
I had to practically twist his arm to get him to blow your cover at the CIA.
But that still doesn't make any sense as to why Orlov picked that day of all days to out Salt. Even for Ted, that seems like a bad idea. Why would Ted want all this chaos and extra men being sent to protect the president? That would seem to make Ted's job even harder. And even if they needed the codes and knew they would only get them if the president was down in the bunker, there still have to be a lot of things really needing to work in Ted's favor.
We wanted you to come out of this thing alive.
You needed somebody to take the blame. I'm the patsy.
Oh, bullshit, Ted. You don't get to act like you're some kind of mastermind when 90% of this working out hinged on Salt completing a series of daring escapes. With all the skillful things this character has done, it's wild that the writers decide to have her success right here hinge on correctly guessing which way to shoot when she runs through the door. For all the taxpayer money spent on the presidential bunker, it's much more easily penetrated than anyone would have expected. Much like my college.
What is your name, sir?
I'm Theodore Winter, CIA.
As if everyone in this room wouldn't be immediately arrested and sorted out later.
Barge on the East River, 12 dead, including Orlov.
Who did that?
Peabody and Salt trade this glance of convenience because the movie literally winking at the audience was deemed too subtle. The idea that she's being casually walked anywhere right now is completely ridiculous. She would be shackled head to toe like Hannibal fucking Lecter. Holy shit, that was wild and unexpected. About damn time this movie brought some fire. The Washington Monument over here looking like America's evil penis.
He's dead now, so he can't defend himself. I guess you'll just have to decide for yourself.
Yeah, but once again, the U.S. president isn't dead. He was just knocked unconscious. And when he comes to, he can tell everyone that Winter had him at gunpoint. So I don't even know why Salt feels like she has to make Peabody believe anything right this second.
Go get him.
Choosing vigilante justice over due process. Salt! She survives this fake-ass looking fall into the Potomac.
Seriously? Like table salt?
Gatorade not only quenches your thirst better, it tastes better too, idiot.
Cotton, I can't.
It's Diane Sawyer. Hello?
Kiss it, kiss it, kiss it.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Get that photo out now.
Checkpoints go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball.
You have any idea who this woman is?
Angelina Jolie, I hope. I'm an arachnologist.
Spider-Man?
Why'd you run?
Everybody runs, Fletch.
What? What?
What'd you do to your hair?